Hey guys, JB here. If you don't know who I am, this is the first time you're hearing me. I'm a real estate investor here in Houston, Texas. Um, I've done over 1,000 deals since 2013 here. Average about a little over 100 or so house flips and wholesales a year. I've done commercial, including multifamily, self-storage. In fact, we're finishing up a self-storage project right now. If you go to the YouTube channel, you guys will see it. But I'm always looking for new data sources and new places to aggregate data, see what's going on in my marketplace and that sort of thing. And recently, I ran across these gentlemen, or this gentleman here, and it's really interesting. He had some really interesting data to share, but then when he started sharing data about Houston, Texas, it really piqued my interest. So take a listen to this.
Is wild. And so it's really a bifurcated market where you have to understand the trends. Because if you, as a buyer, investor, or realtor, walk into a deal, walk into trying to do a transaction, not knowing these trends, you can make a big mistake. You can advise your clients poorly.
I agree with that. You got to kind of know the market, but again, you're a real estate agent, you're a broker. 9 times out of 10, all you're doing is helping folks buy and sell homes for them to live in. Are the investments? No, they're not. But I understand it's a good sales pitch for their app.
I want to show you guys an example here of what's going
Here's where things go south quick.
on in some of these areas in Houston, how much prices are actually dropping. This is a zip code 77016 that has experienced a big inventory spike. And this is a home from a builder, a 3-bed, 2-bath. It was built in 2023. And it was originally listed for 400 grand in April 2023, a year and a half ago. And they have since cut the price on this new build down to 310. So the builder's cut by $80,000, which is a 21% price reduction. Zillow says the value estimate is down 23% in a year. This house is now selling for $147.
Okay. I will tell you in Houston, Texas, if properties are priced correctly and someone reduces their house by 20%, it would be sold overnight. So this is already throwing up some red flags for me.
A foot. Now, that's a good sign if you're a buyer when you see listings like that. It's telling you the market's declining, prices are getting more affordable. But I actually want to flip it around and help you think about maybe how this seller or builder could have used data to make a better decision. Because if we go to this zip code 770,
Okay, this is where things go completely off the rails and it kind of turns into a bunch of nonsense. So let me show you guys something. Being that I'm a real estate investor here, I have access to HAR, which is Houston Area Realtors. Sometimes you'll hear it called houses and rentals, houses and apartments and rentals, something like that. It's our version of MLS. It has won a gazillion awards. It is by and far, I've used MLS in different locations around the country, and by far, this is one of the best. In fact, they just signed an agreement with Sabre, which is San Antonio area, and then Aber, which is the Austin area. So we now, as subscribers to HAR, get that, and we're getting portions of Latin America, which is really cool. Anyway, long story short, let's actually look at the data instead of kind of like play with Zillow pretend data. So let me show you this. Let me give you guys a quick screen share here of MLS. Hold on one second. I have like 19 windows open, and I'm looking for my matrix window. And just for the record, I don't edit my videos. I never have. I don't do start, stops, all that nonsense. So you guys can see this as I'm doing it. Okay, this is the address, 5218 Mayle Street. I went back and looked at the last 750 days. So we're going to look at active, auction pending, pending, continue to show, pending, and solds for a little over 2 years. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath. By the way, in his video, Zillow has it as a 2,100 square foot house. It's not a 2,100 square foot house. It's about 1,500. So we're going to go back and we're going to look at, let's call it a mile. There, by the way, if you know this market really well, there ain't a whole lot out there. And I'll show you on the map. Where all the action is in Houston is really on the west side of town. The stuff on the east side of town, yeah, there's some neighborhoods out there. It's a lot more industrial, so you've got a lot of industrial setbacks. It gets kind of rural kind of quick, which is interesting. But in any case, let's take a look at the map, and then we're going to look at this specific property. This is that side of town. It's over here east of 59, north of 610. Like I said, I know this area really well. I've just sold some apartments over here. I know this market. In fact, when they showed the picture of the property, I'm like, that property looks familiar. But anyway, So let's do this. Let's get into the actual data. This is the house right here, 5218. I'm again, Mayle. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. This is the back end of MLS. This shows a couple of different things, but let's start here with the property archive. I would have the same question. Why has this property been on the market since like March? This makes no sense. Okay. So this is 2013. The lot was for sale for 10 grand. I don't know who bought it. Whoever bought it, or it could have been this owner. Although I don't think it's the current owner. They probably bought it off market. That would be my guess. So that's not in MLS. But let's look at their first listing that was on the market for 160 days. And what do we see here? We see the house. All right, take a look at some pictures, and you kind of like, ooh, it's still under construction. That's interesting. That is obviously digitally enhanced. So let's go down to the agent notes. This is not what I'm looking at. This is the public facing side. These are the agent notes. This is an active construction site. Please enter at your own risk. Hard hats, protective eyewear, and steel-toed boots required to access property. All measurements to be confirmed as by buyer. As fellow realtor, it's important to note, blah, 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 blah. In other words, you can't see this property. You can't show this property unless you are entering a construction site. So take it from someone who has bought and sold a lot of properties. You will not be able to show that property. Let me redo my, hold on one second, guys. I just realized it wasn't doing the entire screen share. Let's do this. Let me show that again. If you can't show the property, if this is what's required to show the property, it's not going to happen. No one's putting on boots and hard hats and protective eyewear to go buy a house. It's just not happening. Okay, so that's what happened with the first listing. So property goes on the market. It looks like it did. It was pending for about 2 days, which is interesting because if it's under contract for 2 days, that tells me a couple of things. One is that wasn't enough time to do an inspection. It wasn't enough. Something squirrely happened here. Usually you'll see the option period 5 days, 7 days, 10 days, something like that. This thing was on and off the market in like 48 hours. So I wouldn't even count this. There's something else going on here. So property's on the market for 160 days, gets terminated, and then it goes back on the market as a fresh listing for another 184 days. All right, let's go look at this listing. Okay, pictures look a little bit better, but let's take a read down here. It is still an active construction site, meaning this is listed, again, still an active construction site. So looks like they finished construction in April of this year, April 2024, listed back on the market. Now let's look at these pictures. Oh, that's much better. That looks like a brand new, finished, beautiful house, although it's digitally staged. I don't know about you, but I do not like digital staging. I think it looks tacky. But anyway, not to throw any shade on this. And actually, I'm okay with this. If they have it digitally staged and then they show you what it looks like without anything in there, I'm cool with that. I'm okay with that. But yeah, I mean, you can tell just it's digitally staged. But anyway, like I said, I'm not throwing any shade on the owner and the realtor. I'm just making an example of how the data should actually be used because this market is not crashing. Okay. So property sits for another 225 days. And as of this recording on December the 11th, the property's gone pending at $310,000. Okay. Still not good. Like a $50,000 markdown. Like what is going on? So I pulled all of the comps for the last 750 days. The most expensive house that has ever sold in this area, and I'll zoom this in as much as I can. The most expensive house that has ever sold in that marketplace is $295,000. So this property from day one when it was listed was priced $100,000 over market. So the problem is when data brokers and data analysts get a hold of some of this stuff and they look at the data and they go, oh my, oh my gosh, this $400,000 house just dropped $100,000 in price. The world's ending. It's like, dude, it was never priced right to begin with. In fact, when you look at the data, it is pending right now at $310,000. So what does that tell you? What that tells you is this will be the new high comp for that area, 310 grand from 295 to 310,000. That's what it was worth all along. There's no market crash in 016. There's no market crash in Houston. It's just looking at, and I don't want to say it's not bad data. It's you got to dig into the abnormal data. Like something's not right here. You need to look at it. And if if you had a house that was priced right at $400,000 and you listed it in Houston, Texas with $100,000 markdown, it will sell. It will absolutely sell. It's not a real estate crash. It will absolutely sell. So if the house was worth $400,000 to begin with and it got marked down to $300,000, it would have sold like that. So it was priced too high. They were in the middle of construction for much longer. It's not an overall market crash. It's an anomaly with one house. My guess is they got a smoking deal on that lot. Just looking at the pictures, probably cost them $100 a square foot to build, maybe high 90s. So they're in it for, let's say, if they didn't use hard money, a bunch of other stuff, they're probably in it for like 175, 200, 225. Now, if they use hard money and all other stuff, they may lose money because it held it for so long. But it's not a real estate crash, folks. Take it from a guy who's done 1,000 of these things here. That's not what a real estate crash looks like. A real estate crash looks like when you go to this page. Let me show you. Let me pull this back up. Uh, when you go to this page in that marketplace, you see all these solds right here. This is where the solds start for single family. See these little red arrows? There's a green one that actually went up. That means a price reduction. So when you go to this page and there's a whole bunch of red arrows pointing down, now we get concerned. Doesn't mean there's a market crash, just means probably need to get concerned. In fact, if you look at this submarket, look at the days on market 6, 7, 6, 12, 0, 37, 4, 33, 7, 142. I mean, stuff moves in this market. In fact, we can run a quick. I'm not a big fan of this, but I like to, I like to play with it. Let's do a quick CMA real quick. And it'll show you some stuff here. This is not controlling for anything. It's just like throw it out in the computer and let's see what happens. But what's your average DOM? Here's your solds, market listing for rentals. Uh, here we go. Let's look at solds. Our max days on market is 61. Our average is 22, and the median is 16. Oh wait, here we go. This is better. Oh, that's rentals. Where's my sold summary? That's showing rentals. Oh, we had one multifamily there. Hold on one second. Rental, single family market analysis. Here are our solds. Here we go. These are our solds. Sorry about that, guys. I got to read here. Our average cumulative days on market is 83, which includes closing, but the median's about 27, with our longest being 142 days because this one hasn't closed. When this one closes, it's going to skew the data. Minimum is 4, average is 38, is 20, and median is 20. If your house is priced right in this marketplace, it's about 38 to 20 days. And in fact, take a look at this. This is the sold price. Let me zoom this in, dude. Sorry. I am not a professional video guy. I'm a real estate guy. And I don't have like I said, I'm not at the studio. I'm just at the house today. So here's your sold price to list price ratio. So the lower that number is, it's indicative of a declining market. The higher that number is, it's an appreciating market. So sold price to list price, if you listed it for $100,000 and sold it for $100,000, your sold price to list price ratio is 100. And so you can see here, we had a minimum of 82, a max of 108. This one's 90, and the average is 98, and the median's 100. Meaning, if you're priced right, again, if you're priced right, this real estate will move. It's not a crash. It's simply one house in one neighborhood. The construction took a little too long. It was priced too high to begin with. And now it's setting the new high for that marketplace. Again, similar house sold for 295, it's selling for 310. That's the story on this deal. So be really careful when you listen to a lot of these videos and they show you one house and it's like this house right here went down 40% and the world's ending. And it's like, hold on, dude. Now, when half the neighborhood's doing that, or half your listings are doing that, or even 10% of your listings are doing that, cause for concern. One house does it, it's not that big a deal. There's probably something else going on, like we identified. Looked like construction took a little longer. It was priced too high to begin with. That's why it's out of the market for so long and taking big price reductions. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope to make more videos like this and get the podcast started. We got big plans for the new year. But like I said, I've got to get back to work because I'm supposed to be writing an operating agreement for 5 new homes we're building. All right. Thanks for watching.